When I was a kid, I remember sitting on a horse mower with about I guess an average of a 6-foot cutter bar.
Okay.
And you could cut, if you really had a good team and wanted to move around, you could cut quite a lot of hay in a day. But then you had to rake it.
Uh-huh.
You know what a dump rake is?
Dunk Taylor was telling me about one.
Well, that'd be about 12 feet wide, maybe 14, but they had a lot of teeth.
Right.
Then you'd gather that up and then you'd hit a trip and dump the stuff. Then you'd make windrows.
Uh-huh.
Windrows. And then after you'd got it all raked, and then you'd go over those windrows and dump it, pile it. You'd go over them twice. That'd make a nice pile so you could just put one pitchfork in it and layer up on the wagon.
Then you'd have somebody up there stomping the hay?
Yeah, they call him the tromper.
Uh-huh.
Have a guy on each side. You try to make them windrows, maybe 16 feet wide, so the horse and team could get up through there. And the tromper and two pitchers, and he'd have a team of horses, and when you got loaded, them guys would put her up there about as high as they could reach, and on the tromper would say, "I'm loaded." Go up to where the line was hooked on the pole is sticking up there. I'm going to the wagon, I'm going to the stack, and he'd go take the load into the stack. And do you understand how they rolled it off?
Not really. Explain that to me.
Before you put any hay on the wagon or the truck or anything, you'd put what they called a V-rope.
Okay.
You'd put that V-rope over. It had a hook on it, so when you got loaded, you could, and when you laid the hay on the wagon, you'd lay it so them on top of those V-ropes, and then sometimes you'd put three ropes across, but mostly just two. You'd done pretty good pictures, and they would hit the V-rope and go from there. And the V-rope would have it was a V, that's exactly what it was. About 4 foot from each end, and then you'd go into the stack and throw the cable. The stacker would stack the hay, and then he'd drag the cable up, throw it over that wagon, and then there'd be a man out there with a team of horses to pull that load off, and it would roll up on the stack. And if they'd done a good job pitching, you could get nearly every bit of it off. And if you got it started to roll, the stacker would take it up to the end or in the middle or wherever he wanted to stack it, and then he'd say, "Good enough." And they would